You can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down, or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully, wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. If you would like to listen in a still position, just let yourself take all the time you need to arrive there. And really let yourself fidget, adjust, stretch, or move your body in whatever ways your body wants to move. Just doing your best to not think about the movements or worry about what anything looks like, but coming more fully into your sense of feeling and becoming curious about what your movements feel like and following those yummy sensations that you might feel when you roll out the neck, the shoulders, the spine, the hands, the wrists. Just anything at all that feels good in your body, and trusting your instincts when it comes to movement. And at any time, if what your instincts are calling for is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. And there's also no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. But at any time, if you haven't already and would like to, you can make your way to a still position. As you check in that your spine is nice and straight as you arrive, maybe even physically touching the space between the eyebrows, the tip of the nose, the center of the chin, throat, breastbone, all the way through the navel and the pubic bone. And just feeling that center line of your body straighten out just a little bit more, with your head resting over your heart, resting over your hips. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow your eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you now take a moment to mark your arrival into your body today with a full, intentional cleansing breath. So calling in fresh new air into the body and almost watching yourself as you fill up to every corner and edge of you. As you hold that for a moment, once you are full, to just stay and experience what it feels like to be full of air right now. And as you need to, letting it all go. Slowly exhaling and gently pulling the navel in toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to push any last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment here to now sit and experience the sense of emptiness in the body. Allowing your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And you can continue to breathe in this slow and exaggerated way for as long as it feels good and helpful to you, without any need to worry about the actual length of your inhales exhales and pauses on either side, but just allowing each of the 4 parts of your breath to be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. Just consciously, intentionally expanding and slowing down the breath, and therefore communicating to our nervous system on a deep level that now is the time to slow down, to let go and relax. And you can continue to breathe in this slow and exaggerated way for as long as it feels good and helpful to you. But at any point, if you haven't already, you may release this guidance over your breath altogether and become the observer of the breath instead. As you now release that control we just had over the breath and simply observe the automatic process of your body breathing you. The same gentle breath that occurs even in your deepest state of sleep. Letting this alone be a reminder to you that your body functions perfectly without any of your doing. And so there is nothing that you need to be doing right now, as this is not a doing or a thinking process, but rather one of listening, one of feeling and observing. Listening, feeling, and observing yourself exactly as you already are. Not how you wish you were, or not how you think of yourself in the past, but as you are in this exact moment, which is an entirely unique version of you, since every single moment of every day we are changing in little ways and in big ways. The only constant in life in general is change. And so just take a moment to remember that exactly who you are right now will only ever exist right now. And this version of you is worth making note of, is worth being grateful for. Being grateful simply for being able to experience life, being able to breathe air, the ability that you have to experience and perceive this beautiful world in whatever way that you can, whatever way that you do. And as you allow all of the muscles in your body to soften into place, you can imagine that the muscles all throughout the face and all throughout the arms and legs, all throughout the torso, imagining that every single muscle throughout the body is simply ungripping from the bones and releasing back into the support of your own skin. Trusting your own anatomy. And that just as your body gently breathes for you in your deepest state of sleep, your body also holds everything intact and right where it needs to be, even in your deepest state of sleep. You are never crushed, and you never float away. But with the magic of your body, with the earth beneath you, and with the force of gravity all around you, you are always held right where you need to be. And even if it's just for a moment, allow yourself to be held, to be supported by the surface beneath you, to be loved. Letting the fact of your existence right now be the proof that you are worthy of this existence and of this life. You do not need to question your own worth or question your own purpose, but we can simply remember that we are worthy of being here, and we do have a purpose here, even when we forget. And it is okay to forget your purpose and to forget your sense of self-worth. That is another part of life. Just like the moon, we will not be bright and full all of the time. Nor are we meant to be. There are times where even the moon hides in the shadows and doesn't reflect any light. And so it is okay if you are in a time right now where you just need to hide in the shadows, or you feel like you are in the shadows. Because that is another phase that everything in life moves through, and that you will move through as well. Unfortunately, we are not meant to escape the changing phases of life. But we can make the darker phases of life a lot easier on ourselves if we don't blame ourselves for being there. And if we just allow ourselves to exist in whatever phase of life we are existing in right now. To ride the waves that life presents with as much grace as possible. With as little resistance, I guess, as possible. And you can often imagine the waves of change that come at us in our life as actual waves in the ocean. And I like to think of it as if you imagine yourself standing in the ocean and you see a giant wave starting to swell up in the distance a bit, you have some time to make a choice. You can make the decision that I'm going to ride with this wave. And as the wave approaches closer, you can turn in the direction of the wave and maybe even pump your arms a bit and get a head start and let that wave propel you and push you closer to where you want to go and all the way to the shore even. But in that time where you see the wave swelling up, you also have other decisions to make. You could make the decision that you are not ready for this next wave that is coming and you need more time. So you have the option to dive underneath the wave and just skip this one for now. And the other option you have is to just stand there and do nothing and watch the wave come closer and closer, where it will eventually crash directly in your face, toss you over backwards. You'll probably hit your head on the floor and get tossed around a bunch. And so the changes that come in our life can be viewed very similarly to this analogy. If we see them coming, we can maybe arrange ourselves so that we can make the most of what is to come. We can set ourselves up to dive underneath and skip it and hide out a bit longer. Or we can make the option to try to stop it, to try to stop away from crashing, which will never be able to happen. And if we review our history, I'm sure we can all think of examples where we have tried to stop an inevitable change and it only makes it worse, or it only makes it more difficult on you in the long run. And so you can give yourself the permission now to do whatever it is that you need to do in this life, at this point in your life. And oftentimes, all we need to do is nothing, which can oftentimes be the hardest thing to do. And so just be so kind and patient with yourself along this journey and any and all journeys of change that we will continue to move through in this life. And just know that you do not need to make the hard seasons any harder on yourself by blaming yourself or being mean to yourself about it. You are allowed to comfort yourself and to lean on the aspects of your life that bring comfort and joy and love and support whenever you need it. And you can just take the next few moments now to re-soften the body if any tension has crept back. And really allow every single word that you've heard today and every feeling you felt today to settle within you. And if you're in a state of maybe a lot of self-blame, or in a phase where you're being hard on yourself, you can just offer the question, or you can ponder this on your own, is what if there is nothing wrong with me? What if I am perfect just as I am? And what if I don't need to be perfect? Since there is truly no such thing. And so when I personally use the word perfect, it's implied that there are imperfections within something that is perfect. And you are allowed to accept yourself for exactly who you are right now. Knowing that it doesn't mean, accepting yourself does not mean that you necessarily like yourself or agree with everything about yourself or approve of your actions or anything like that. It simply means that you acknowledge the reality of who you are, the reality of how you feel on the inside, and the reality of how your actions impact yourself and the world, and who your actions show you to be. And every day we have an opportunity to have our inward perception of how we want to be in the world become a little bit closer to how we actually are in the world. Simply with mindful actions and acting in the ways that we approve of, that we want to act. And just knowing that each and every choice that you make that best supports your own health and well-being and that of those around you and the world around you, every single choice that you make every day will and is getting you to exactly where you want to be. You are already on your way to exactly where you want to be. And you are already becoming exactly who you want to be. And you are allowed to enjoy the journey there. And so as you are letting all of these words and all of these feelings settle, you can imagine them as little specks of glitter within a snow globe. And imagining that your body is this big snow globe. And now is the time where we let all the glitter settle to the bottom and let the air clear up top. Allow yourself to be grounded down toward the earth and to be secure with the knowledge that anything at all that you heard today or felt today that really resonated with you, just trusting that that feeling can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. And so allowing those truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition and to trust your own instincts. And if it feels like something you would like to do today, you can just let your hands find each other now in a prayer position toward heart center. As you feel this contact of your palms and fingertips to one another, and you allow your heart to lift toward your thumbs as your thumbs press back toward your heart. And you feel all of this power that is generated through you, your own heartbeat. And you can take a final deep, full breath into the body, letting yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything at all that you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. As you take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you, thank you, thank you.